Oh man, Oda, you really got us with this one. And what I mean by that is, well, Oda dropped some goodies for us. Let's just say about that, right? So here we are at One Piece chapter 1138, titled Harley. Wonder what that means, right? So here we are about to. Let's go ahead and get into the chapter. We got lots to talk about. But on the other hand, Loki is not looking, let's just say, not too good to me, because last chapter you had Shamrock and his other god knight subordinate. I'm gonna keep calling her subordinate because that's technically what she is, even though she's a god's knight, right? So you have Shamrock just, oof, not Shamrock entirely, but it's the other God's Knight that's letting Loki have it. And he is not looking good, folks. Now, what I mean by looking good, he's not there. He's going in and out of conscience a bit. So it says the aftermath of Loki's defiance. And remember, last chapter too, on top of that, that Loki has been offered to join the God's Knights, right? However, Loki says, you know what? To hell with that. Why would I join up with you guys? Especially when you try to use get me to obey the Celestial Dragons. For one thing, you're working under the Celestial Dragons too. On top of that, second, you're also working for the government, which that entirely is corrupt as all hell, right? Third, I'm afraid. I mean, I don't know what's the relationship between Loki and Shamrock, but I would say this though. I mean, considering they've been going back and forth, keeping each other in contact, right? So, I'm not trying to put nothing out there, but I'm pretty sure Shamrock told Loki, said, hey, I'll come get you and break you out if you join up with me, and that way, me and you can work together and work something out. Feel me? I mean, to me, that whole exchange, by the way, is peculiar because that's signifying that Loki and Shamrock might had a conversation back and forth, a little friendly conversation back each other, feel each other in what's going on, how long it's been since we last heard each other, all that. But anyways, back to the chapter, and Loki says, "What? You're the spinning image of red hair Shanks. Did you really think I would just write that off as coincidence? Coincidence? I think not, right?" Then Shamrock's like, dot dot dot, not saying nothing. And you have his subordinate says, "Well, for your information, mind your business. That matter has nothing to do with you." Okay, so if it doesn't, that means Loki must have struck the nerve. So I would say this too. On top of that, when she's saying mind your own business, that matter has nothing to do with you, basically. But that does signify. So, oh yeah, Shamrock's aware that Shank's been here. That put him down here. So yeah, so my twin brothers was down here that defeated you and put you down here. Right? So it goes on to Loki saying, You're not wrong, but a great pirate and a celestial dragon, they're polar opposites. You can't blame me for being curious." Now, I'm just saying, Loki might have put two and two together and be like, pirate, you're a pirate. You're a celestial dragon, right? But you also have someone that looks like you that's a pirate? Wait a minute, something doesn't add up. And that's what Loki is starting to put together. And it was like, saying something doesn't smell right here. Doesn't seem right off the dot, right? And continues that anyone would find it strange that you two share the same face. Well, they share the same face, but not the same haircut. Remember that, kid. Remember that. Shamrock says, the pirate you're referring to is my younger twin. Mind you, I never got into this chapter yet, so it's confirmed Shamrock's twin is Shanks. The pirate you're referring to is my younger twin. He went astray. So would that mean that Goldie Roger found Shanks in a treasure chest. In turn, whoever put Shanks in that damn treasure chest might have put Utah in the same treasure chest. You know what? I'm starting to think what Tekken 101 said about them damn treasure chests might be onto something, cause treasure chests, man. And it all happened, by the way, on God's Valley. So whatever happened on God's Valley, no one's talking about. Well, except for Rocks. Well, we already know what happened with Rocks. Garp ain't gonna expand upon it because that's top secret. And if he spills it, well, you know what happened to Saint Saturn, right? Saint Goku. Yes, not Saint Goku, but Son Goku. You know who I'm referring to. But Sengoku, yeah, there we go. But if they reveal it, then that, you see what I mean? There's too many things to unwrap here. I mean, you got this and that, but they keep it hush hush. So Shamrock says, well, at one point he did return to the Holy Land. So you're saying, wait a minute, let me finish this first. He did return to the Holy Land, but it seems he grew too attached to the filthy world of the surf. So I do have one question. And this goes back to that one chapter. Shoot, I can't remember it. But this does go back to that one chapter that when Shanks went to the government by himself, by the way, don't know any other Yonko that can do that. However, there is a special case for Shanks, and what Shamrock says confirms it. And if I'm pretty sure the Gorosei up there before Saturn got capped off and got killed because he got what he deserved, right? Now Shanks got. Let me play this out for you. Well, let's wait. I'm gonna wait until the last chapter, right? No, you matter of fact, let me go ahead and say it. So the Gorosei might have found out that Shanks is Figureland's Saint Garling Figureland's child. It was like, oh, hey. It might have went to Saint Garling and said, hey, your son is here, by the way, but he's not your son. But at the same time, and Saint Garling probably like heard on the phone, was like, oh yeah, son. Oh, yeah, that's my other twin. That's my other son, the other twin that went missing all of a sudden during blank blank blank, so century ago or something. So yeah, later, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure Saint Garling says, you know what? Later, man. I mean, if he wants something, just give him anything he wants. I mean, shoot, ain't myself. I'm busy here, damn it. So I'm guessing the elders was like, one of the elders was like, go call him up here. And Shanks gets up there to the office, basically, talks to the Gorosei, and I'm pretty sure they imagine, you know what, I can't imagine it because, I mean, you have Gorosei that can actually transform into the shits that can actually give I won't say a normal Yonko a challenge. I mean, I'm not saying that Shanks can get a challenge, but if he's facing all five of them, that's a challenge. I mean, from that point, we didn't know how strong Shanks was, but we don't know how strong the Gorosei was back then when Shanks visited. But now that says a whole lot about what if Shanks didn't walk away from the five Gorosei, right? Another thing too, I want you guys to know is that if Shanks' father, Saint Figureland Garling Shanks, you know what I meant. If he walked in the office and met Shanks face to face, you know, it's either Shanks or Figureland or Saint Garling gonna walk out of that office alive. I mean, I would say this too. The Fire Gorosei is probably gonna back away, like, yeah, we ain't gonna get into this father-son spat. Ooh, you know the other thing too? Not just a spat. What if Saint or Garling, Figureland sent his other son? He's like, hey, go deal with your twin brother. Your twin brother's here, by the way. So go meet up with him. You haven't seen him in a while. And Shamrock was like, shit, that piece of what? Why do I have to? Fine. But I'm pretty sure he won't react that way. I'm pretty sure Shamrock is basically like Shanks. But when it comes to the celestial dragons, he won't tolerate bullshit from you. He will put you down like any other normal civilian or a pirate or a slave that's, well, if you talk back to the celestial dragons, especially the rank of Shamrock, well, you don't get put down easily. So, yeah. Anyways, I mean, come on, guys. Let's be honest. Shanks would have walked out of that office one thing on another. I mean, he already got missing arm, so what's another a body part that's gonna disappear like that, right? So he might walk out alive. I mean, during that chapter, he walked out like money bags. It was like, yeah, well, gave him a warning, so hopefully, I'm pretty sure somebody was looking at Shanks was like, well, I mean, can't do nothing now. But now that we got to this point, well, Shamrock said something. Now it's confirmed that Shanks' twin brother, right? So it continues on. Loki says he returned. I see. It's funny how I ended up hating both of you brothers. Mind you, that's not particular per se, but like I said, Loki and Shamrock's relationship is kind of up in the air. I mean, shoot. Anyways, and I thought my grudge couldn't get any worse. What a family. Just wait till you meet their dad. And their dad is now not a celestial dragon, but is a celestial dragon plus a Gorosei that's been promoted to Gorosei by Eam himself. So that says a lot about what he does and how much power he got, right? Anyways, he said, you bastards, when I get out of these chains, you know what I'll do, right? I'll make it my mission to make sure my buddies are avenged. So Shamrock hits Loki with, was that supposed to be a threat? And well, his subordinate looks at him and was like, Captain, you don't have to, and Shamrock instantly unsheathes his sword, and he said, awfully enough, it looks like I'm gonna tell you, Figureland family has it. I'm not gonna lie. They have the same sword. Wherever that sword, man, preferred weapon, I guess. Takes out his sword and says, I know. He isn't worth getting my hands dirty over. Next panel. Well, isn't that right, Cerberus? And he points the blade at Loki, and all of a sudden, Mouse comes out of the sword, and Loki's like, what the hell is that? And all of a sudden, they come out the sword like flames of the blade, I guess. How do I put it? Soul leveling logic. There we go. I don't know how. I mean, that's the best I can do with that kind of logic. If you watch Soul Leveling and you know what I mean by summoning, well, Arise. There you go. And then Wolves came out. Basically what Shamrock did. So Shamrock basically has given his sword the devil fruit. And let me just tell you, three-headed dogs, Cerberus, I think that's part of the mythology, Norse mythology. Yeah, I think that is part of Norse mythology. Cerberus. Oda, you did something right. So here we go with the mythology, Cerberus. And Shamrock just unleashes Cerberus, and Loki's like, what I said earlier, what the hell was that? And when the dog opened his mouth, a sword comes out. All three of them, mind you, have a sword coming out their mouth. Shamrock says, it's my biting blade. And what's with this creepy thing? Mind you, those things are on fire, by the way. And now, well, what can I say? They're looking to attack Loki, or about to attack Loki, and Loki said, huh? Now, his warning says, Captain, let's clean up here and move on. And not Loki, but Shamrock just gave them a command and said, scramble. And then the dogs start going after Loki, but bomb rush Loki with swords in their mouth, by the way, and while they're on fire, by the way, which is a myth. I want to say mythical. I think it's a mythical devil fruit too. Cerberus. I might have to look up that. So the dolls go bearing into Loki, and while Shamrock and the other God Knight escapes, Shamrock says, "Feel free to hunt me down anytime. I'll face you then, assuming you survive this." Hopefully, Luffy gets to Loki by the time he's about to be dead by then. And Loki says, "Hey, hey!" And he says, "You got to be kidding me." And boy, that dog goes in for the kill, dive into Loki, and he says, "No way, if that thing gets me, those celestial bastards," as Loki says, and they connect and impale Loki in the chest area with no regards, by the way. It's all three of them, by the way. And just two. I mean, by the looks, yeah, it's all three of them, man. All three impale Loki. And Loki screams out loud, "Damn it all!" And then, as they fly away, Shamrock says, "Total subjugation isn't feasible now. Let's start by taking their children hostage." Okay, and we'll need an extra person, by the way, on top of that, as Shamrock says. So let's subjugation isn't feasible right now, so let's take hostages instead. By hostages I mean the children, and then we need an extra person, by the way. And let's just say I forgot her name. She says, "Understood. Who shall I call then?" Oh, so it's just two, by the way. She said, "Who shall I call?" And just two is three God's Knights. So we probably might have another one, boys and girls. So ladies and gents, lock in. It goes back to the Alice Castle, by the way, where Luffy and the other Luffy, who else? Zoro, Nami, and Roto is at, by the way. So they try to so I'm guessing they found the giants. I think some of the giants knocked out, by the way. So Luffy says, "Liar, Shanks would never attack for no reason." By the way, the people that were guarding, wherever entrance the two giants was that Shamrock and his subordinate encounter, they've been knocked out, by the way. So I don't know how they dragged those two damn giants. Pure powerful. But Luffy and the rest don't realize that Shanks, that wasn't Shanks. That was Shanks' twin brother, Shamrock. That looks like Shanks. And let me tell you, Shamrock isn't someone you can pay to play around. That was only a glimpse, by the way, of his power. Remember, Shanks they didn't show Shanks' true power until he fought an enemy of equal strength. Shamrock, that was kind of like 5% of his power, by the way. So when he brought out his biting blade, his Cerberus, let's just say 5% of his power, by the way. Like Shanks ain't gonna hold back, right? Anyway, someone says, "It's the truth. I saw him with my own eyes. Red Hair has visited Elbaf many times. I recognize him." Again, that wasn't Shanks. That was Shamrock that laid him out, and his subordinate. It was mostly his subordinate that laid him out, by the way. Luffy says, "I know Shanks. He's a super cool guy. Maybe it was just someone who looked like him." At least Luffy got a brain. "It was shocking. We were wondering what he was doing in the castle." And Zoro says, "He just left Elbaf recently, right? Wouldn't it be weird for him to come right back just to skulk around?" I know, right? Yeah, and Luffy says, "Even if you're telling the truth, there's no way it could be Shanks." So, to summarize, Luffy doesn't believe that Shanks would do this, and that he will double back, double back and put these giants down, not permanently, but just to knock them out for them to search, right? Nami says, "Well, you really have faith in this, and faith in him, right?" And we all know that Luffy doesn't. The Straw Hats, mind you, the Straw Hats and nobody else realize that Shanks belongs to Celestial Dragon, which I think when the Straw Hats go into a confrontation with the God's Knight, not gonna lie, that's gonna be an interesting bout. Not bouts, but in their current state, I don't think they will be able to handle it. But unless they get a power up in this arc, then that would change a ton. Now, Luffy says, "Well, I'm glad you agreed that Shanks would never do this, by the way." And it goes on to Luffy remembering something to say, "But honestly, he never talked about his family. I heard that he was raised on a pirate ship from when he was little. And it just shows somebody with a hat, with a cloak and with long hair. I figured Roger and Rayleigh were his real family. Their whole crew, except for Buggy. God damn it. Throwing shade at Buggy when he's not there. Anyways, Matt goes to a different group. Frankie's group, the Treasure Tree Atom. Now, Frankie goes, I think, by himself goes by himself, just walking around basically. And then I guess one of the giants caught him. It's like, oh, yeah, if you're looking for something to if you want to look around, I'll guide you somewhere per se. So she says maybe I should start selling some of the some on the side. Weren't you sent here to keep an eye on me? Basically, Saul seems pretty strict about it. He was all like, it's a sacred tree, bucko. Don't go cutting it down now, you hear me? By the way, Frankie was thinking about it too, by the way, because this is the same same tree part that he built with used the money, by the way, for I think that was used for Roger's crew too at some point, and then Roger's ship, and for the Sunny. That was a Sunny. So you said Frankie said, well, you just sound like him. Anyways, she brings up, what's that? Is there saw something? He said, wait a minute, is that a mural? And she says, it's a graffiti from eons ago. Some kids probably etched right into the bark and it got fossilized, basically. And it's now designated as a cultural heritage site thanks to its enormous historical value. It's a punk's doodle that big deal. One of them says it's said to date back somewhere between 900 800 years ago. If Robin was here, she would have hit us with the history lesson, right? Basically, if that's true, and then Wiggly, Riley, or whatever her name was, then that would place it right in the middle of the voice century. We gotta show Robin. She'll be thrilled. Alright, folks. Here's the moment we've been waiting for this chapter. Buckle up. Alright, first scene of the panel. Hey, ain't this drawing kinda odd for an old Elbath? Not all the figures look like giants. Quite as far as we know, there were definitely times where the races of the world clashed, but this kind of cooperation is unheard of. And it continues, and she says, that's why I think it's probably some kid's dream. Really interesting enough. And I'm going ahead and cut this all the way down to the last chapter because I don't want to get into all the BS. This is the interesting part, damn it. So Robin says, I'll read aloud then. The first world. The earth is engulfed in flame and the hearts of men. Now, it shows, here's this, what they call it, glyph. I'm gonna call it, here's this glyph. And it reads, the first world. The earth is engulfed in flame and the hearts of men burned with desire. They reached for the forbidden star from whispered prayers. The sun god rose, beckoned by the enslaved. The god of the land was enraged with the serpent of fire. They cast the world into ruin. Darkness fell. Death reigned. They would not meet again. That's the first world. Second world. A breath stirred in the abyss. The god of the forest summoned its devils, while the sun lit the embers of war. Those of the half and full moon's dream, yet the ones who slew the sun defiled themselves. Invoking the wrath of the sea god, they would not meet again. Okay. That's interesting. Third world. Chaos reigns, the world drifts in the void, yet time does not erase the memory of the promised day. Its shadow looms as the voice of the half moon echoes through the ages, and once more the sun god shall rise, laughing, dancing, guiding the world to his final act. The sun is reborn, and new dawn will break. Surely this time they will meet. Okay, and it just shows Frankie standing in front of a mural, and it just shows a lot of information. Let me tell you what's all of this, by the way, so nobody gets confused of what's going on. So you pull up the screen. So it's gonna be right here. I can tell that the dragon, the one breathing fire, by the way, is a celestial dragon. I can tell you that. That's for damn sure. Actually, I kind of want to explain this during no, I'm getting this done. And I can see Sun God Nika. The devil, I can tell you, is Eem with the sun in his hands. So he's the darkness, by the way. Let me tell you something. So you got the angels with the wings. That could be Lunarians or other stuff, right? And I can tell you the one with the fish mermaid is part of the fish man, giant warrior pirates, and it looks like wow, they the way they depict this is that's a lot of people, and I'm guessing the buildings are, you know what, this might be, I'm saving this for later, I mean for another video, because I got another chapter I need to cover, which is 1139, which in the next video after that chapter is going to be this that's talking about this thing, because I'm gonna throw my opinion out there too, because let's just say, this whole thing just got a lot deeper. It may be a kid's doodle, but this kid's doodle is something you're not supposed to discard, per se. This is important. This is not a doodle. This is important, right? So, a deep mythology unveiled. Chapter end. So, let me get into it, to this chapter, not chapter, but my final thoughts on it. Well, you have, let's just say, a lot of things. Shamrock unleashing his power, 5% power, by the way. I ain't gonna say full power. It's only 5%. Let's be honest. If you was taking this for real and wanted to kill Loki, he would just on the spot, right? Or lopped off his head. That's another thing. However, this glyph, the most highlighted thing about this chapter was Shamrock, and this mural that Frankie found, or was getting told about. Interesting enough, this is interesting because she says it's a doodle by some kid, but is it really a doodle? Maybe this is foretelling what's about to happen, right? So this is kind of highly accurate, by the way, what's going on in the One Piece world, because nobody knows this, but shoot, this is basically, if I was in the One Piece world and not seen this, I was like, that's accurate right there, right? So I don't know, it's just, once I do the next chapter, then we get to discuss the mural that Frankie found, right? Because I want to throw my opinions out there. I've seen a lot of videos out there discussing this too, and people going highly in depth with it. But if you like this video, this chapter, subscribe, like, and comment down below if you think Shamrock was not going all out using 5%. Also, comment down below if you think Shamrock would have met Shanks earlier if he waited and be like, hey, just saying, if there was a confrontation, we would have seen some damage, right? Thank you again, and see you next adventure. Laters.